Hi, I'm Alex Archbold, and I've been buying and selling antiques since I was 9 years old. From basements to scrapyards, I'll look just about anywhere I can to find lost antiques and collectibles. And sometimes I'll go big and buy everything. With my wife and kids, we run an antique shop in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, filled with some of the most unique items we can find. I never know what's going to happen or who I'm going to meet. This is our life, this is our adventure, and this is Curiosity Inc.
From home, honey.
Hey guys, well this is how today's episode is starting. I have stopped at Tim Hortons to grab a London Fog tea and a little breakfast because I got to my location early. I'm in the town of Beaumont, Alberta, just outside of Edmonton, and I'm going to be meeting up with a fellow who's got a big collection, almost knocked my tea over, a big collection of stuff for sale. I don't exactly know what. I heard the word Hot Wheels mentioned and it got my ears perked up like a little dog. So I'm gonna head out there this morning, see what he's got. You just never know. That's why you follow pretty much every lead. A lot of times people ask me, how do you get the stuff in your store? And I tell them exactly the truth. I go out almost every single day. So today I'm going out. I'll see if I can bring you guys along. Sometimes people don't want me to film inside their house. If that's the case, I will show you if I was able to buy something after. So follow along on today's episode as I am out of town and we'll see what I can find. It's just about time for me to head over to this fellow's house. The whole time I'm laughing because the whole time I'm sitting there at the restaurant, there's this girl and her male coworker, and she's complaining about her boyfriend, and she's complaining that he's normal, and kind of boring, but her ex was exciting and used to cheat on her and did drugs. What is with people? Go for the boring normal guy. You won't regret it in the long run. Anyway, enough of that drama. I'll have to go look at toy cars. Well, that happened. Not just dropping my keys, but I went through the fellow's house and he had a lot of things I would have bought, but everything was priced at retail or more than retail. And I was trying to explain, we have a store and I can't pay full price or more than full price for things because otherwise what's the point of buying it? So I put 99% of the stuff I picked away back where I found it. But I did come back with a couple interesting pieces though. As he was a Hot Wheel collector, I found a couple things that were not Hot Wheels. One was this ship's wheel, which he says was retrieved from a shipwreck. It does have a lot of rust and patina on it. I don't know how well it would have stood up if it was submerged in water for too long. Who knows how long it was down for, but that's kind of a neat piece. Big, heavy ship's wheel. And aside from the ship's wheel, I got this. It's a 1980s Lamborghini Countach remote control car. And I just move this out of the way. Of all the things people don't expect you to be driving with in the front seat of your vehicle, a ship's wheel is probably one of them. There is the Lamborghini, and it came with an extra body for a Toyota. So I did end up coming away with kind of a cool collectible. Ended up paying $100 for this. It's probably worth somewhere around $300 to $400 because it's got the box and it's kind of a desirable piece. I'm talking Canadian funds here. So I did end up finding a couple things, even though it wasn't the world's best pick or adventure. At least I got a couple treasures. But that said, I've decided to switch gears and come and see what's been going on with the house. The last time I was out here, I made a few changes. Changes that I think will ultimately be for the better. The main one being the elimination of the sort of stub wall in the basement. Well, I guess the little barrier we had there to create a hallway. And we've opened it up, or going to open it up, so the basement is actually going to be more or less finished and more open and breezy. I think everybody watching thinks that was a better decision. I do too. I just wasn't sure if we'd have the money to do it, so at the time I didn't budget for that. But the reason I'm here today, the reason I'm at the house today and waiting for Drewpad to come, is that we as in me, Melissa couldn't make it because she's at work. we have to select where the plugs are going to go in important spots, like by the bedside. Where do we want plugs around the house, and make sure that everything's okay where they put it. If it all looks good, then they're going to start insulating, I think, as early as next week. And that'll be really great, because once the insulation's in, we can start thinking about getting some heat in here. In fact, things are going to start moving pretty quickly in the next little bit. Once we give the nod, the okay that the wiring is good here, insulation, drywall, next week is going to be a very busy week. The gas line is being installed, because you can't really run your furnace without a gas line. Not the type of furnace we have anyway, that runs on gas. And the electrical was supposed to be hooked up. I'm actually going to peek my head out the door and see if they got the electrical line run. We were just waiting on that the other day. Nope, not yet. I guess that's going to be next week as well. I can tell there's no meter. There's a little glass bubble that sticks off the top part there. That's not on there yet. So I guess we're going to be waiting on the meter to get hooked up and the gas line hooked up next week. But that's when things will really start to take shape. But as I'm kind of complaining about the stuff that still hasn't been done yet, like the gas line and the power hooked up to the building, I can see that some of the things are here that weren't here before. Look, there's a space for the switches. We've got electrical sockets in what will be the dining room. There's one there, one over there. Okay, that's good. This is, I guess, kitchen. So as you're entering the kitchen area, it'll operate different lights in there. We have outlets which will be above the countertop, because the counter is going to come right around this height here and work its way around. So we've got counters in, the plumbing is in. There's the connection for the stove. I think that's in the right spot. I want to say that it is. Let's just go ahead and say that that's in the right spot. All the plugs and switches and everything are making their way in. And they even added in a water line for our fridge, which I don't remember us talking about, but I guess it was in the plans, which is good because we can hook it up to the ice machine in the fridge. So this is the kind of the final step before they start getting insulation in and then drywall. Once the insulation and drywall is in, there really is only a couple more months until this can become a house. I'm going to zoom out here a bit so you guys can kind of get the full view of things. I'm going to stand back in the corner of my living room, kitchen, couches, fireplace, sitting area with a couple chairs that I was looking for the other day. I ended up not getting the IKEA chairs. We found some that were nicer secondhand, actually. So I've got some different sitting chairs for the front that will go in. And I guess we've got the plugs all in place up at the front here too. Piano against that wall, Christmas tree eventually right here, kind of in the center. Oh, it'll look so nice. It really is the details that you have to look for. Like when you walk in the door, is your light switch handy so you can flip the switches on? When you come down the stairs from upstairs, do you have switches so you can turn lights off on the main floor? Everything has to be more or less in a handy kind of location. I am kind of curious to know though, they put plugs in a weird spot. This is one thing, this is why you walk, because there's plugins in a random spot. Maybe it'll make sense, I don't know. We are installing cabinets here below this window, like cupboards you can store stuff in, and they've put an electrical socket down there, and I think they did the same on this side. Yeah, there's 2 electrical sockets. Maybe one is for a TV or something, but we don't have any plans to do anything more than just put shelves here. So I'll have to talk to them about that. I mean, I guess worst case scenario, it wouldn't hurt to have plug-in on the inside if we had like a stereo or something, but who does that nowadays? We use a Bluetooth speaker and it doesn't require any power inside a cabinet. So I don't know. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, so I'll ask about that. I do want to look upstairs though. Actually, I think the framers have not come back to remove the wall. Before I go upstairs, I'm just gonna peek my head around the corner and see. Yeah, that wall is still there. That won't be there for long though. Well, that's funny. We told them this wall was going, and yet the electricians put wiring in a wall that's getting knocked out. Like we told them this before they got even moderately close to doing electrical down here. So somebody missed the boat and didn't pass that message along, because now we got to pull this wiring out of here. It's not that big of a deal. It just comes out of that junction box there and then they yoink it out. But we paid somebody to do something that does not need to be done. So that's always a bummer. But the bedroom has its wiring. I see we've got a plug there, but we don't have any other plugs. Like, we would need at least a couple more plugs around here. So a little bit of opportunity in the basement yet. They are starting to get the wiring put in for the lights. So I guess we'll have to undo a little bit of what's been done in the basement, and that's a bit of a bummer. I also decided when we take this wall out in the basement, we're not just going to go back to the step. We're going to actually bring it back here, so I've got a little bit of a hallway to get back to the storage room. So you will have a little more space at the bottom of the steps when you turn that corner. Okay. See, this is why you walk. You can ask questions like, why did they wire in the wall that's getting torn down? And why aren't there more plugs where we need plugs? I'm sure these are all things that'll be addressed very soon. But let's go upstairs. Head upstairs and have a look and see what type of progress has been made up here. I don't think there should be too many issues with the upstairs part, because there haven't been much for changes. Switches at the top of the steps. We have plug-in right below it, right down there. This is going to be a little closet. I guess it'll have its own light in it. I'll have to find out what this is for, because that's a closet. And I don't see a spot where they've put the switches for the bathroom, like, you know, here or something where you'd walk in the door and expect to see it. You know, unless this is for your bathroom switches here, but then somebody could be using the washroom inside and flick the switches on and off. Knowing my kids, heck, knowing my wife, that would be the first thing that she would do, would be to pest me while I was in the washroom. So I will ask them if there's another light switch on the inside, or ask what that is all about. Because we probably don't need one. Probably don't need a light switch right there. But, well, there's a little insulation around the tub. And again, the plumbing's all in. So this looks like a switch for the back part of the bathroom. And if I remember, we're putting sort of a little pocket door here, so that somebody can use the shower and use the washroom and close themselves off. Have a hook in there to hang your clothes on. You can actually have one kid who's getting ready, having a shower, using the washroom, while another one could be out here brushing their teeth or whatever. It gives you a little bit more flexibility with what you can use the space for. So there will be kind of like a pocket door in this area. So that is, I guess, the switch for that little room. And there's just have to figure out how we operate this space here once you walk in. So I guess I do have a couple questions about this space. Most of this other stuff is going to seem pretty straightforward. Here's Jason's bedroom. I'll zoom out. Jason has the lookout tower room. He can look out at the front, see what's going on out there, see if Dad's coming home. He can sit in the window, play his guitar. Great little spot for him. And it looks like he's got lots of plugs in all the right places. There's a 1970s song that never happened. There was Looking for Love in all the wrong places. We've got lots of plugs in all the right places. And then there's a switch there. Looks like two switches. Looks like a double. I don't know what that would be for. Maybe for auxiliary pot lights and a main light or something. I'll ask. This house is fancier than our current house, so it has features that my current home does not have. Here's the office, and it looks like they did run some data cables up here, which is good. And we've got lots of plugs, which is also good. And I'm debating where I'm going to put the desk in this office. I kind of imagine it, I kind of imagine myself sitting at it at the window. I don't know why, like the desk kind of like that and the chair, or I don't think facing out. I think it's kind of nice to be able to gaze off of your screen every once in a while and be able to see what's happening in the real world. You know, probably put some of my collectibles and stuff up here. I've got a couple my showcases that I'd like to put my toys and my stuff that I like. And then the bonus room. And this is where our TV is going to go. So they've run the cable for the TV here, which is good. Don't know if that's where is that where we're going to put the TV? I guess so. That's the thing. I kind of wish Melissa was here a little bit, then we could talk about where we'd want to have the couch and stuff. I think we talked about maybe putting the TV over on that wall, so maybe they can move that box and run it down to that side, closer to the corner. Either way, I've got some stuff to figure out here before DrewPad gets here, because I want to be prepared and not waste his time. The other thing I noticed in this upstairs living room space, which is where we're going to be watching TV and kind of hanging out as a family, is that if we put the TV where they have it on this wall, see how sunny it is? This is south facing, which means that we're always going to have the blinds closed so we'll get reflection off the screen. But if we move it to that wall, it's fully shaded. So I think I might just ask if they can move that one down, because I don't think this will be a great spot for the TV. We'll always have sun shining on it. Love a sunshiny space, but don't love it reflecting off a TV screen. Makes it impossible to watch. Well, I was able to get a hold of Melissa at her school. She didn't have class right now. She's not teaching, she's just cleaning up. So we did a FaceTime. We both agreed that other wall is probably the best wall for that TV to go on. One thing, when the framers come back in, and this is, you know, you have plans and the best plans are put in place and we have a very good contractor, but sometimes the folks that are building miss a couple things on the plans. One thing that they missed from our blueprints was that this, from the front entrance here, basically, oh, hang on, I'll switch the camera around so you guys can see. When you walk in the front door, and this isn't, I think I've said this before, our other door is not in yet. It's gonna be one big door here. Anyway, when you're at the door, you'll be able to see through to the back, the dining area, the living room and stuff. We're doing the railing here, and now we're doing the stained wood for the banister with white in between to give it sort of that antique coastal kind of vibe, and the wood stain is gonna match the floor. That's all good and happy and fine. But one feature that this house had that we really didn't want to lose was having a nice open feel straight through to the back. So when you walk in, you feel like you're just connected to all the spaces. What they did though is they built a wall. They built a wall and connected it to the staircase. I don't know why. That's meant to be actually a railing that goes straight across and down, so that this stays all open. Like, there's no point in having this open. This is going to be open railing here. There's no point in having open railing here and then having a wall and then open railing. We don't need a wall there, so they are going to come and take that out. But that's why it's important as a homeowner to look through your plans and to ask questions when it's happening, because you don't want to do a final walkthrough and find that there's a wall that's all drywalled and built that you should have caught a long time ago. This is the time when you want to catch it, when they can just come with the hammer, knock these boards out and move it, change it really quickly. I'll address some of this stuff with DrewPad when he comes, which should be any minute. In the meantime, I'm going to put my hands in my pocket because look, they're getting red. It's really cold in here. So I would like to get myself a little bit warmed up before he arrives. While I was waiting for DrewPad to show up, the concrete finishers arrived. They are going to finish getting the bathroom drain all hooked up and everything down there and do a little bit of extra work preparation. So now we just wait for DrewPad and we'll do a walkabout. DrewPad has arrived, rocking his D-pad home saying, brand new. What you missed, DrewPad, and we'll walk through the inside of the house. I have some questions for you. While you were showing up, our friendly neighborhood contractors doing the concrete arrived, and we're putting these, or what are they called, bollards? Bollards in, because if you're navigating a vehicle in, and you back into it, you don't want to back into this because it's holding up the second floor addition. So kind of important, they would say, right?
It's very important. It's carrying so much load. You can see the size of this beam.
Yeah, we don't want that falling down.
No, yeah. So this post needs to be protected really well.
So the guys, we've got them roughed in more or less where they're gonna go. And they get bolted into the concrete and then filled with concrete. We don't have any water on site. So they actually went to my neighbors and they got a couple buckets of water. Very nice of my neighbors to offer up the water. I mean, with the ice melting off the roof, we could just put a bucket out underneath. After about 5 hours, we might have a teacup full. So they're going to be working on getting those installed. And the one thing I'm happy about with this is that the way they're positioned, it actually won't really cost me any space with opening doors or anything like that. So it should be good to go. But are you ready to walk around inside?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
We'll walk around, take a look at all the rough-ins, and make sure you guys are all happy.
All right.
Yep.
Okay, the first question I had was about the upstairs bathroom and wondering if this light switch was going to be in the closet. But you said, Drew Pad, these are 16-inch shelves?
Yeah,
and they're open.
shelves, so that switch won't be in the way.
So you can just reach around and flip the switch?
Yeah.
Okay. So not a problem there. And it looks like this is a separate switch to operate the back part of the bathroom?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Especially for the toilet and the tub area.
Okay, great. Okay, that's resolved. Let's maybe have a walk out to the bonus room, to the living room out here. Okay, this was the TV connection, the data for the TV. We are going to move it right to that post. So there you go. When are the electricians coming back in?
Sometime mid next week is what we're
Okay.
getting them back for the basement, so they'll fix all this up.
And assuming we get this sort of resolved, insulators, when do they start coming through?
I have them tentatively scheduled mid-December.
Okay.
Especially to allow for these changes. You know, I want to give you enough time so you can make these changes. We can get our crews back here, get it all done, and then start installation. Because once you start installation, these changes become more and more difficult. So
okay,
make sure that everything's done.
Well, that's right. That's why we're here.
Right. Yeah.
That's why we're here. Master bathroom, we have vanity lights above what will be very vain vanity sinks. And we've got matching plugs. So his and her outlets right nearby, so I can plug in like electric razor or whatever I want to put there. And Melissa's stuff over there for her to get ready. And this is we're doing a little pocket door. Are we doing a little pocket door here? I can't remember.
Yes, correct. Here you have a pocket door here. So that's
Okay, yeah, and it has its own little light switch in there too. Yeah.
switch for the ventilation also. Switch.
For the vents, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's getting pretty close to insulation, really.
Yeah, it is. But we're intentionally taking it a little bit slower. We want to make sure you get all the rough-ins correct.
Right.
And that you guys are really happy. So we're taking it intentionally a little bit slower. On our normal builds, we already have insulators in here as soon as the rough-ins are done.
Right, well, at least this is giving us a chance to get things sorted. And if we can get the electrical guys back in to make those couple changes we were talking about, then we should be good to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
One thing we were kind of chatting about is where the bed is going to go. And this is another reason why you want to walk. You don't want to have an electrical outlet directly behind your bed. It's just not safe, right? To have outlets.
Rather than safety, you want to have good access to that plug. It's hard to reach behind your bed every time you have to plug something in.
Right.
So that's it. It's more for
Just
usage.
ease of access.
Ease of access, exactly.
So what we're going to do, since the bed will likely be right in front of that with a nightstand next to it on either side, we're going to move that plug right on the other side of that post. And it's kind of an easy thing to do now rather than later. Good catch on that one, Drew Pad.
Perfect.
So Drew Pad and I were chatting, and I was looking at this space. Originally, the plan called for an open to below chandelier that kind of came down like this and was kind of right over top of you. But this space here isn't all that wide. There's probably like 5 feet or something. I'm almost thinking that we should just add an extra pot light or two to get some good light down to below, and take the chandelier that we've ordered and use it here, which is going to be our actual showpiece space right above the staircase. We've already got the piece we wanted on order. I don't know. What do you think?
I like the idea because this is your highlight space. Like you said, there's not much room here for your chandelier to really shine down.
No, it would feel a little
congested.
a little
here.
tight there, yeah.
Exactly. So I think you have a good idea. Maybe make it 3 pot lights, 1 for each window, and use that piece in your stair, which is going to be really grand.
Yeah, and it's not going to impede anything because where it hangs will be right in this sort of central area in the middle. This is like in movies where you're like, you know, that you're being chased by something, you look down, are they still coming? And then they turn the corner and they keep following you. This is a great movie staircase. In the basement, things are getting wiry down here. data cables and all the stuff is getting run to the right places. One reason I mentioned the concrete guys were here is that they had to uncover the drain for the shower, which is right there. It was roughed in. It accidentally got covered when they were doing the concrete. They uncovered it, but they're going to come and patch this space and get it all ready for the installers. That should be happening once they're done in the garage. And then when do the plumbers come to hook the tub up?
The plumbers are coming Tuesday to do your whole basement rough-ins here.
Okay.
Monday, like I told you, the heating guys are coming to install your furnaces and finish the basement rough-ins.
Oh, I'm sure everyone would be happy once there's some heat in this place.
For sure. We're all waiting for heat to come in here.
It's a little chilly.
For sure.
Okay. All right. So I guess the base. Are we doing any outlets in this area, in the storage area? Probably not, I guess.
I don't believe so, no.
Okay, we have the one by the panel if I needed an outlet. But yeah, the basically from this area forward where we're going to be doing the basement, we'll string electrical sockets and things like that. Yeah. Okay. All right, that's a next week project. So I guess I'll have to come back next week and see how things go. We're just checking the wiring on the outside of the house now. We've got an outlet down there so we could put Christmas lights or whatever you might need an outlet for. And pot lights above the front porch. Make it nice and bright. Oh, I guess he planned for us to do Christmas. I don't have to use a plug-in that's down there. They actually are putting a plug-in at the top, so you don't have to have that crazy string of electrical cord running down to your lights. It'll be already built into the top there. Well, that's a nice feature. Hey, we've come back inside the garage where the guys are busy installing the bullards over there. But we were talking about electrical, so I'm just going to walk through. We've got some regular outlets along the way, which is great. But we've also added in some 220. That, I believe, is going to be run for our garage heater. Should be up in the corner there, 220 gas heater. And we've got the light switches and another 220 in case I need to, if I do want to put a lift in for the garage, that I've got power here for that. But the other nice thing about this, and we have plenty of outlets all along the way here, I can envision it now all nicely trimmed and painted with artwork. It's going to be like a little museum in here. It's going to be great. I don't want it to be a regular garage. This big chunk of a cable right here is for a vehicle that I don't even own yet. This is going to be for an electric vehicle charging station. So the electric vehicle we have will park right here and we'll have our own charging station right at home. If we end up getting solar on the house too, if that comes together, we'll end up being able to drive essentially for free, which will be super cool. Okay, I had to come sit in the truck. We've wrapped up. We're done at the house for today. We've got a plan in place. Really important to come and walk the property every so often to make sure that things are the way you want them, that things are where they need to be, because this is when you want to do it. When the studs are open like that, you can just move stuff around. It's much simpler than if you decide to make changes after the fact. So I think we've got everything all sorted out. Some big things came out of today. Moving the location of the chandelier, I would say. Changing some locations on some of the electrical outlets. And getting the bollards installed in the garage so we don't accidentally run into that post and knock the upstairs down. So some important things were done today. But I hope you enjoyed today's update video, guys. And yeah, heck, I guess I'll be here next week filming again, because apparently that's when all these big changes are going to start taking place. The directional drilling for the gas line goes in. The electrical should be hooked up, and then they can start insulating and get a temporary heater in. I guess they don't use our furnace until it's kind of our house, which is nice. They use a temporary furnace to pump heat in there. But Drew Pad, he was freezing, I was freezing, everybody's cold right now. So I think I'm gonna head home and maybe make myself a nice cup of tea and warm up a little bit. But thanks for watching today's episode, guys. We'll see y'all soon, and bye for now.